Is it possible that one bad mood could change your whole personality? Today, we're talking about that question. Hi, I'm Sarah Lewis, and I am a business coach who helps introverted small business owners put themselves out there, earn their worth, and step fully into the person they want to become and envision in the future. Today we are talking about how one mood that you find yourself in can start to change your personality. So think about it. If you've had a bad day, something sets you off usually in the morning, you get a little grumpy, and then things start to cascade throughout the day and things don't go your way, and pretty soon you're just in a bad mood. Then that evening you are replaying all the events of the day and how you would have handled the situation better, and you start to feel yourself just getting stressed out by just thinking about the events of the day, and it kind of keeps you up at night and disturbs your sleep. And so now the next day you're in that same mood. Okay, and so things don't go that well, and you can see how this can kind of spiral into a few days. And so your mood doesn't last just an hour, it starts to become a few days or even like a week where you're just in this mood and things don't seem to be going well and you just don't feel like your normal self. Okay, so then like a week has gone by and you're starting to get into this like funk, and now you're becoming more of this mood. It's not just an emotion that you're feeling anymore. It's starting to just be you. Like it's becoming a temperament. And you start to lose like your joy a little bit, but you're not really sure what's going on. You're just calling it like a funk. And this temperament that you've now kind of adopted for a week or so goes on for a few more weeks. You're still not really finding the positives. You haven't changed the story in your brain yet. You're kind of reliving some negative experiences. And soon that temperament that you're in and that mood or that funk, whatever you want to call it, starts to last a month or a few months or even a year. And so now you've lost the positivity that you once had prior to this one bad day. And your personality has actually changed within that year because you've stayed in this mood that transitioned into a temperament that transitioned now into a personality trait. And instead of being a joyful, carefree, happy person, now you're more angry, grumpy, bitter, judgmental, resentful, any of those sorts of words that you may feel. So that's how a bad mood can transition into actually shaping your personality. Now, none of us want that. So it's super important that as we find ourselves in these kind of negative states, that we acknowledge that we're in a negative state, that it was something that probably happened out of our control. We didn't have control over it anyway, and that we can start letting that be a part of the past and letting it go from our conscious thoughts. Because what happens if we hold on to it is it goes into our subconscious, right, and becomes our personality. So we need to work on getting those negative thoughts turned around and cutting them off before they turn into a temperament, before they turn into a personality trait. So I have a couple of thoughts on how you want to start reframing your thoughts so they don't start to influence your personality. So one is catching yourself with ruminating thoughts. So those are the thoughts where you just keep replaying events and you start asking yourself, how would I have done this differently? Or I would have said this back in 4th grade. And you live those events that just happened so long ago and you keep reliving those events. That's ruminating. And we especially do this at night as we're trying to fall asleep. And usually you can feel yourself like feeling those same emotions, even though this event has happened in the past. You start to feel them when you're falling asleep and you get all anxious and stressed as you're trying to fall asleep, which usually doesn't help you fall asleep, it keeps you up. So catching yourself in these ruminating thoughts and cutting them off then. So that you practice this regularly so that when you find yourself in those cycle of ruminating thoughts, that you say, this is not productive and I'm going to think about something else. And a lot of the things you can think about is the future. So start shifting from the past, thinking about what happened, to how you can shape the future. The other idea I have for you to help break these moods that turn into temperaments is to practice meditation. And meditation, you have to focus extremely on the present, what is going on this very minute, and it doesn't allow you to escape into like thinking of the past or thinking of the future too much, because when your thoughts do escape, you get that reminder during meditation to focus on your breath and come back to the present. So meditation is a great way to stay out of the past and focus on the conscious thought and being very present in the moment, focusing on your breath. So much of our personality is based on past events. And when we think about past events, many of those can be negative. And we don't want negative events to start shaping our personality. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still shape your personality for the future. So be present and also start envisioning your future self. Who do you want to become in the future? And projecting your thoughts into the future rather than into the past. Okay? So we look forward, not behind, and you can shape your personality to become the person you want to be. If you liked this video, I would love a like, a thumbs up if you'll click that, and also consider subscribing as I'm making new videos often and posting them regularly.